Hello. Happy Thursday. That was Gromit. Say hello to Gromit. I'm in my glasses today. I haven't worn these for. They're quite old-fashioned now. I haven't worn them for so long. But I've scratched my cornea. And I'm a contact lens wearer, so I've got antibiotic drops I have to take every hour. It's really painful. But that gave me sort of pause today to sort of reflect on what I was talking about last time, TMS, and how I found Dr. John Sarno and the mind-body connection, the brain-body connection, and the tension myositis syndrome, and how pain and symptom, not just pain, but symptoms in the body, the brain is creating them because it's perceiving danger, or it believes that perhaps to distract me from emotions. It's not safe. It doesn't believe I am safe. And I had a lot of those. I had, as I've talked about many times, so I'm just repeating myself, Achilles tendonitis, back pain, shoulder pain, what was supposed to be carpal tunnel, hives. I've had jaw pain, don't know if I mentioned that, globus, that's a really frightening one. And I talked about my first panic attack. But conversely, things like this. So at the moment I've got a missing big toenail because I dropped a weight on it in the gym and the nail just had to be taken away. And that's healing beautifully. So there's an example of the body knows how to heal, the body knows what to do. And also where if there is something that's wrong, get it checked out. So yesterday around about tea time, my eye started to really hurt and I took my contact lens out. I thought, I've just got something in my eye, it feels gritty. I woke up in the middle of the night, it was still there, and I felt quite sort of panicked about it. I woke up this morning, it was still bad, so I went to the eye hospital, got an amazing eye hospital here in Bristol, run by the NHS. And oh my God, I was like in and out within, 45 minutes seen, and I've scratched my cornea. And they said it was looking very inflamed. I've got antibiotic drops to take on the hour. Am I concerned? Yes, because it's my eye, but I know my body will heal, and already I just feel it's getting a little bit easier. But it's quite red and it's sore. But I think within 48 hours, the pain will probably be completely gone. But what I was going to talk about, so there's an example of things that you should get checked out and are genuine conditions, very much like when I had breast cancer, and I'll talk about that another time. And before I get to that, what I said in my last video was once I found Dr. John Sarno and I realised that the majority of those ailments, well actually all of those ailments, were absolutely being created by my brain and were not due to a structural abnormality or defect, and they went away. So by sort of November, Christmas of 2022, I was pretty much completely recovered. I think I still had the jaw pain, but I was unconcerned. And there was a few other, looking back now, a few other ailments that I had, which I didn't even realise, and were down to that. They've just naturally fallen away, and I can talk about those another time. Things like dry eyes and bloating. I just didn't put two and two together, and the anxiety. But you might be wondering, well, what did I do or not do? And what Dr. Sarno said was, all physical activity must be resumed, and to stop all sort of treatment. And in those months of finding Dr. John Sarno and then Dan Buglio, the pain-free YouTube channel, and a little bit of Georgie Oldfield, I think I've got that right. What did I do and what did I stop doing? So I immediately stopped going to physiotherapists. I'm not dissing physiotherapists, but it was not helping me. It was making me feel worse. And every time I went, I came back and I got another ailment. I stopped going to the osteopath. I've spent thousands over the years in osteopathy. I stopped going, and I haven't been since. Again, I'm not dissing osteopaths, but they're not for me, not my people. So those were two things I stopped. I stopped doing the carpal tunnel prevention exercise I was prescribed every morning. Just stopped. I started going to the gym and lifting weights, not to fix myself, but to make myself strong and to build my confidence in my body. I still go, I still lift heavy, I've just been. I started running again. it took a lot for me to build up that confidence, because when you've got the ankle pain in both ankles and everybody telling you how dangerous that is, that took quite a lot of confidence for me to do that. But I did, and I was back running. And when I say running, I mean loosely, because I jog. I started cycling again. I was told not to cycle because of the apparent carpal tunnel. I started cycling again. Now, I did these things sort of gradually, and I gave myself very positive messages, but I did do it. And I felt great doing it. I started saying positive things to myself, kept reminding myself of how far I'd come and how well I'd done. And I would just, I'm not really a journaler. I love writing, but I found well, I didn't have the time. But sometimes just writing, I do sort of practice gratitude, and I would just write down sort of my wins from the previous day, and just things like, I'm really grateful that I managed to go out for a run yesterday and I managed to do an extra mile, or I'm really grateful that I had the time and the strength to go out on the bike, and I maintained going to reformer Pilates, but again, not to fix myself, but because I loved it, because I really liked the instructor, Joe. It was a nice social environment. I felt relaxed when I was there. It built up my body confidence. So there's a thing of, it was a form of therapy for some people, but for me, it was one of my favourite hours of the week. So it gave me a lot of pleasure and made me feel safe. I started meditating. That's for me. It's not for everybody. I meditate every morning before I get out of bed. Why do I do that? Because it makes me feel calm, and it puts me in a great mood to start the day. I up-leveled my diet massively. I also went for a walk every night after work in green space, even when it's raining, which, as you see, well, you probably can't see, but it is here. It's raining, as always, the UK. But being in green space, being around trees and greenery makes me feel really calm. And so, I mean, there's loads more, but what I did do, I'm very consistent about this, I stopped trying to fix myself. I stopped referring to myself in any capacity as broken, and I actually asked other people to stop doing it. So people said, oh, what about you? I'm not available for that. I've got perfectly good ankles. Yeah, but you said, no, let's just change the subject. And even if they didn't buy into what I believe to be true, I asked them to just be neutral and not talk about it. And it really helped. And it's not linear. And I think that's the most important thing. It is not linear. And sometimes symptoms crop up in me. So just at the moment, I've had a symptom crop up with a pain behind my knee and a little bit in the shoulder. And I'm very gentle on myself, but I am not concerned. Whereas, like I said, with the eye and with the toe, I had to seek medical attention, and those were injuries. And I've addressed them, but I'm now trusting that my body will heal. Anyway, that's all for now. Hope it's sort of helpful, and I'm glad I could show you Grommet. They do this sort of every 2 years. It's really nice, and they're all over the city, and it's sort of nice to go and spot them. And it's great for children and adults, big children like myself. And sort of next time I'll talk about getting into what happened sort of in the lead up to my breast cancer diagnosis, and yeah, continue the journey. So yeah, thank you for your time. Bye.